Hello and welcome, my name is Charlie Roscoe and I'm playing some Valentino Rossi the game, or MotoGP 16, however you want to look at it. And I thought I might try and put a video up with a few of my early impressions, what I think of the game, but unfortunately I haven't been able to upload very many videos over the last couple of days since it launched because my little Huppage HD PVR external capture card thing has shit itself, so that is being repaired and fixed and hopefully we'll be back up and running this week at some stage. But in the meantime, the only way to get footage is by hitting this share button on PlayStation, and unfortunately that only records at 720p, and you've then got to upload it to YouTube and then download the MP4 off YouTube, so in the end the quality is not ideal. But a friend and I had a really good race online at Phillip Island, which is what you're watching here, and I figured if we both shared it and we both downloaded that 720p footage off the PlayStation, if I combine it into one video where they're a bit smaller, it'll look a little better. So that's what you're watching from each of our perspectives. It is quite good. We have a really good battle towards the end of the race, and I won't spoil who wins it, but it is quite good, so hopefully you do enjoy that. Now, one of the big concerns I've seen from most people is that Valentino Rossi the game was going to feel exactly the same as MotoGP 13, 14 and 15, because those games all essentially looked and felt very similar. The bike physics were very similar. So the concern was, of course, this would be yet another one of the same thing, which was always going to disappoint people. But I can confirm that it does feel quite different. Probably one of the big things I've noticed is that previously in the last couple of games you could really hold the brakes on hard whilst you tipped into a almost full lean angle. You can't do that in this game. You need to get most of your braking done in a more upright position. You can trail the brakes to a degree, but you really can't stay hard on the brakes while you're tipping in. So, that is probably one of the biggest things I've noticed so far. It doesn't brake as well in general. You can't leave your braking as late, but you need to keep the bike more upright. And even if you overshoot the corner, the tendency is once you get there to still sort of lean it in full and just ease your way off the brakes. But you can't do that. You need to keep it upright, even if that means shooting late in the corner and then turning in late. But I'm actually okay with that because that's far more realistic than the previous games were, so I'm happy enough with that. Obviously, the MotoGP guys and anyone who rides a motorbike will know you cannot grab the front brakes hard on while you're at full lean angle, so I've got no dramas with that at all. Moving on to the AI, which is another thing that people were concerned it would be ultimately the same. I can tell you it's not the same, but I have to say I'm not a huge fan of the AI at the moment. It's just kind of pissing me off. The paces there, they seem a little bit quicker than they have been previously, but they're a lot more aggressive. They dart around the place. They're really, really unpredictable, and trying to ride through a pack is impossible. If you get knocked off early or you run wide or something like that, and you have to try and come back through the AI, it is really, really difficult. They just seem to, if they're within even a couple of bike lengths of you, they seem to be able to dive up the inside, even if you're braking late enough that you can visibly see you're catching the group of bikes in front of you, they still seem to be able to brake that a little bit later and shove it up the inside, and you're forever bouncing off them. When they shove it up the inside or just going around, they're just weird and predictable and all over the track, and they group up weird, and I've got to say I'm not a huge fan. We are about to start an online championship, and I think we've decided we're going to keep the AI there so that we have something to chase, and you don't want to get to a position where you come second even if you're 35 seconds behind. You want that benchmark, that group of bikes to set the pace, so you've always got something to chase and make sure you're doing better than. But at the same time, we are going to turn collisions off, which is something you can do online, so that they don't actually ruin your race, because far too often they just ruin your race, and it's so difficult to overtake. I don't know if anyone else feels the same, and if you've played the game and don't feel the same about the AI, then please leave it in the comments section below. I do think once we get used to the physics of the bike that we are eventually going to be quite a bit quicker than the AI. Again, that's the same as the last couple of games. At the moment they seem relatively competitive, but I'm still sort of getting used to the new physics and how to ride the bikes fast and hard, and I know I've got heaps of room for improvement because I've seen even online there's been a couple of the tracks that I felt quite comfortable at, and yet I'm 1.5 to 2 seconds a lap slower than these really quick online guys, so I know there's time to find. And once I find that, the AI are going to get left behind. So that's another shame that they haven't got that next level of difficulty. Their aggression is certainly higher, and I'd love to see an aggression slider bar at the moment, so you can turn them down from a 150% aggression and all that sort of thing. But I'm not going to go into too much the different sorts of bikes and that sort of thing. I'll put some other videos up showing some of the old 500cc bikes, which are a bit of fun, but also quite gnarly. I'll put some videos up. Probably one of the most fun categories I found at the moment. Well, not categories, it's under MotoGP 4-stroke, and that's sort of all your old or your mid-2000 motorbikes, Valentino Rossi's, Stoners, and a few others in there. Those bikes are really quite fun. They feel quite smooth but still fast, and the AI seems to be a little bit more competitive there, harder to chase down, but I'll cover that in another video. Obviously there's a huge range of bikes there. Now, I haven't actually started a championship yet, so I will probably upload a championship. I'm delaying that until my PVR gets fixed. Speaking of career, I have done a flat track and a rally. Now, the flat track is rubbish, to be honest. I didn't enjoy it at all. It was only a 3-lap race. I've only done one. And I restarted a couple of times just because I, gave myself a few laps to get used to it and whatever. But in the end, in the final race, I took off okay. I was just starting to get the hang of it, and by the end of the second lap I was just bored. I didn't want to do it anymore. It's not something I enjoy. I don't know if anybody else does, but for me, I know they probably put a lot of effort into that, and it's all cool that you get to go and hang around Rossi's ranch and do all the dirt track, but for me it's not something that I am personally interested in, and probably won't be uploading any videos because I'll be avoiding that. Now, the rally was a little bit better. Obviously they have said that it's based off the physics of Sebastian Loeb rally. It does feel a little bit better, but still it's not something I'm interested in. There's no steering wheel support. I've got Dirt Rally, which does have steering wheel support, so if I want to play a rally game, that's going to be what I do. It's not going to be mucking around in Valentino Rossi the game. I came for the motorbikes and all that other stuff. I haven't even tried the drift yet. A friend of mine has, and he said that was rubbish as well, but I'm not interested. I didn't buy the bike for the game for those things. I bought it for the motorbikes. So anyway, I don't want to go into too much more detail in this video, so hopefully you have enjoyed what you've been watching. As I say, the fight really was quite good, and there'll be plenty more videos coming on my channel, so if you haven't already hit subscribe, please do that. Remember to give this video a like if you have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.